The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Hey, welcome to the program. Good to be with you. My God, we spend this time together once a week. Theoretically, thank you for being here. For those that may not be familiar, which you probably are, I do a radio program, syndicated radio across the country, podcast stuff, also on all the platforms, iHeartRadio and all that stuff, and the Apple Podcasts and the Google and the thing and the Amazon Music and all that stuff. Every weekday, we do that. New show every weekday. You can go to the internet thing, which you've probably heard of, to newenglandbroadcasting.com or the Ron Van Dam Show.com, or just Google that, and you'll get there, and hopefully you'll be a regular listener. And that's it for me. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye. Well, what I do here on this show is different than what I do on my my weekday thing, in the sense that I don't have any guests. On the radio program, I do have guests. They're experts in all different kinds of fields, and baseball fields, cornfields, and celebrities and entertainers and authors and doctors and lawyers. Oh my God. So that's what we do. And it's basically sarcastic comedy, such as what you may be used to if you watch this, where I come into the studio once a week here and do this. There's no reason for this whatsoever, because there just isn't. I don't do anything spectacular. My clothes stay on through the entire presentation. There's nothing to see. The wall remains the same. The colors don't change. There's a nice bluish kind of tint on the back. It's going to stay blue. We don't have time to change that. I don't change wardrobe after 15 minutes to do the second half. There's nothing like that going on. I don't do any magic tricks, although it's amazing that I'm even here. That's it, man. So let's get started. Okay. I don't know why I came upon this. I think I was talking about marriages for some reason, and how interesting they are, in the sense that people still get married even though 50% of all marriages end in divorce. So, like, if you're playing the odds, why would anybody ever get married? To have children, I guess, but that doesn't seem to work either in keeping the marriage together. So I do shows on that every once in a while, because I have a sociology degree. I'm a doctor of sorts. So that's what I do sometimes, in a sarcastic manner, usually. But I was doing some research on it. I can't even say that word, research on it. And I came across Larry King. Do you know who Larry King is? See, I'm doing this motion because I'm on a visual media thing, so I really should move my arms now and then. And the password is... Okay, so anyway, so that's what I do. So Larry King, I was doing some research. Larry King was married 8 times. You know who Larry King is? This will show your age. If you know who Larry King is, I know how old you are. If you don't know who Larry King is, I also know how old you are, and it's not all that old. Larry King was a talk show host. He was on CNN for a long time. I believe it's CNN, and he did a nighttime show, usually later at night, and he had all these guests on the show, and he would just do one interview for his whole program. And when he got older, he was a spokesperson and did television commercials for omega-3 fish oil. And that's what he did, and he was touting it, and also for garlic or garlics. I don't know, just this stuff to keep you alive. He died at 89, so it works somewhat, not entirely. Larry King was not a beautiful man. He was just a man with black horn-rimmed glasses, had a very gruff voice, nothing really appealing other than the fact he was filthy rich. At the time of his death, he was worth $150 million, which is a lot of money, really. He was married 8 times to 7 different women. Let's do the math. Sounds like he married one of them twice. And, when you do that, it really shows, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't stand living with you. You want to get married again? It just doesn't make sense. Now you're really confused. 8 times. Now, if you were a woman and you met a guy like Larry King, who's a popular guy at that time, celebrity, so to speak, and say, "Hi, Larry, let's get to know each other. I've never been married before. How many times have you been married? Have you been married before?" Yes, I have been." "How many times, Larry?" 6. I've been married 6 times. "Oh, well, fine. Then we should have a relationship because that's certainly solid." I had a friend, Bob Seidel. He's a comedian. Nice guy, funny guy. Been on my show a number of times. Bob got a divorce. This was way back in the late 90s. And, and off camera, comedians are not that funny. And he was, he's rather broken up about it. And he said, "Ron, this is my second marriage. Didn't work out. You know what, Ron?" And I said, "What? Since you know my name, what is it, Bob?" He said, I'm just not good at this. I'm not good at marriages. I'm just not good at it." And I don't know if he ever married again. We kind of lost touch with each other when I stopped doing that TV show thing. But I don't know where you are, Bob. I don't know if you're watching this. Probably not. But yeah, that stuck with me, Bob. It's that you have to admit at one point, I'm just not good at this. You don't have to be good at everything. You don't have to be adequate at everything. You can suck at some things. That's perfectly fine. As a matter of fact, if you suck at something and you know it and you say, I don't do that. It's not that I can't do it. I guess I can. I can't. I don't know. I'm not doing it anymore. It didn't work out for me before. There's so many other things. That's not going to happen for me. And Larry King, who is married 8 times, at some point, many opportunities to say, I really shouldn't get married anymore. I'm not good at it. At one point, you got to say to yourself, well, why didn't the marriages work out 8 times? Perhaps it was them. It must have been them. I only marry people that are divorceable. That's their problem. I'm fine. I'm wonderful. But they, for some reason, cannot retain a marriage for more than a short period of time. No, Larry, it's you. You can't do it. The chances of all these women, 7 women in total, or 6, whatever, I guess 6 women, the chances of them all being awful people is kind of slim when there's 6 or 7 of those people. And one of you, Larry, do the math. It's you. I just found that fascinating. I still find it interesting today with the statistics that 50% of marriages don't work out anyway. So, and what do you say at the altar? Do you take this man, you take this woman, till death do you part? Unless we get divorced, yeah. Unless we disagree with something, yeah. Anyway, this time of year, a lot of people apparently get somewhat depressed, and not in a very serious manner, really, for the most part, but it's a seasonal depression because they cannot handle the fact that the sun sets in the 4 o'clock hour. They can't handle that, and they get depressed because it gets dark so early. And, I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm not a psychiatrist. I cannot dispense medicine Although when I was, well, let's not go into that. Yeah. I'm not a doctor in that sense, but I do obviously have a resolve for this. When it gets dark, when it starts getting dark outside, and you're getting to see it, going inside your house or apartment. There's a thing on the wall. It's called a light switch. When it's in the down position, it's off. When it's in the up position, it's on, unless your electrician reversed it by mistake. Go home, turn the lights on, and it's better than being in the dark. Did you ever think of that? Well, Ron, that's not what seasonal depression is. No, turn the lights on. They make something called a daylight bulb. Have you seen this? You probably have. If you haven't, I don't know why you haven't. It says daylight bulb on the package. It mirrors sunlight. Not mirrors, but it imitates sunlight. And it really does. Give it a shot. The bulbs are like $3-4. Try it. Screw it into your lamp or whatever you do, and give it a shot. It's really amazing. It really takes care of your seasonal depression. I'm not making fun of it. I'm not making light of it. I'm just saying that's what you can do. All right. What are we talking about now? I guess, as the holiday season is encroaching upon us, I like the holidays. I like, there's 3 holidays that I know of that occur around the same time, but not at the same time necessarily. And that would be Christmas and Hanukkah. I'm sorry. Okay. And Kwanzaa. I don't know when Kwanzaa is, but I've heard of that too. I thought it was an airline. I don't know. They don't all occur at the exact same day because that would be competition and we can't put up with that. So they have their own little times. Hanukkah is 8 days long, I understand, because why not, right? Why not? No, there's tradition behind it. There's a reason for it, but let's not get into it. It's not why I'm here today. Christmas is the big one, let's face it. It has its own music. Oddly enough, I was thinking about this as well. Almost all of the traditional Christmas songs, almost all of them, of the traditional Christmas songs were written by Jewish people. It's true. Google that if you want to Google something. Jewish songwriters wrote almost all of the classic Christmas songs. And yet, I know of no Protestants or Christians or Methodists that wrote Jewish Hanukkah songs. I'm not aware. It doesn't seem fair at all. And I don't know who writes the songs, the holiday songs for Kwanzaa, but because I'm not sure what it is. Not that I'm just not educated in that sense. I went to, I'm not of any real incredible religious persuasion, because I believe if I belonged to a certain religion, they would have thrown me out by now. So I don't even try. I respect them all. I get it. I get the history. I get it. But I don't really like joining clubs. So I'm not a member of any particular religion. Again, they'd probably say, Ron, we appreciate you coming to the church, but we're going to ask you to leave now. One year, I went to a church. I don't remember what denomination it was. I think it was $5 bill. I think it was $10. I don't know. It was I don't know. And I got there, and it's just beautiful inside. Churches are very nice. Some of them are opulent. Some of them are not so opulent, but they're gathering places for people. And it was nice. And they turned the lights down low, and they did a a Christmas seasonal candlelight ceremony. And I thought, oh my God, this is like really pretty. And all the members of the congregation were given a candle with a little piece of paper shaped like a little ring kind of thing. And they gave it to everybody, and they all lit their candles, and then they brought the house lights down to start the movie. And it was kind of pretty to see everybody. But after about 2 minutes, people were starting to squirm because the wax from the candle started dripping on their hands. And it's hot at first, and then it feels kind of, I would guess, awkward. I don't have a wax fetish, so I don't know what I'm supposed to feel. But when wax hardens on flesh, it's like, that's interesting. I don't think I like it. So that's it. It was a candlelight ceremony, and everything was fine. And the priest was, I think that's what he was on the altar. And one of the prayers at the end said, and peace to you. And the congregation responded to the priest, and peace to you also, Father. And I thought, well, that's nice. That's like a nice return, That's nice. Although now, I guess if there were a lot of millennials there, the priest would have said, and peace to you. And the congregation would say back to the priest, no problem, no problem. So anyway, so the father is up there, and I thought, oh my goodness, this is interesting. There's a father, and then there's all these people in the congregation, and that sounds like when there's one father and like 100 people there in the room with him, that sounds like the Maury Povich show. You are the father. Yes, I am. And you are the father. Okay. Anyway. See, millennials don't even know who Maury Povich is, so why even bother? Why even bother going into it? But it was very, very nice. The only thing that catches me about religion is that people are told to be good, and when they're in the church, they're very respectful, very nice to each other. Do you have enough room? Do you have enough room? Do you have enough room? Because they're like pews. They're not individual seats like in a movie theater or something. They're like pews. I don't know why they call them that. So you can sit on top of each other, and they're very if the service goes on a little bit too long, you go, hey, my back's killing me. When's this going to be over? You don't say it out loud. Do you have enough room? Do you have enough room? So you're really nice to the other person, which is nice. But then as soon as you leave the church, it's something about the building. As soon as you leave the confines of the church structure itself and you're outside, people get back to their normal, angry, bitchy selves. Where'd I put the car? Where's the damn car? Hey, where's the damn car? And they'll even throw, something, a little profanity into it. And this is just, not on the church steps. Maybe when you're on the bottom step, maybe you can start doing that. But it's amazing the transformation. How when you're not in the church, hello, bash your head in, you little moron, freaking nature, you big ass, you big. But inside the church, hello, how are you? Good to see you again. Hey, you're looking marvelous today. I love you. Hey, give me a hug. It's just come on, man. Come on, let's be real. I used to be a videographer, and I made most of my money videotaping weddings. This before people had video cameras and cell phones that did basically just as good a job. But back then, you had to hire a videographer, and I was that person. And we had a very large company. We had a lot of videographers in the company that I owned, and it was a very lucrative time of my life. Because at a wedding, people will pay anything. I mean, we did a great job. We were the best of it. But at the same, I might even been there when you were getting married. I don't know. I did I think I had done like 500 or 600 weddings when all was, it was a lot during a period of time. But anyway, so I went to churches all the time. Every weekend I went to a lot of ceremonies. And it was very interesting to me because, again, the tenure inside was just very respectful. And people dressed up. They always dressed up for church, no matter whether it was a wedding or not. They would dress up. And oddly enough, those that were not pure Americans or had immigrated from other countries, they dressed up even better than anybody. They really were thankful for the opportunity to be in this country. Whereas Americans are like, whatever. Hey, I belong here and whatever. But it's the immigrants that are really proud to be here. They're like, oh my God, I will kiss the ground here. Americans, they ain't kissing no ground. Anyway, now when people go to church, and I see this, they are wearing their good pajama pants. Yeah, we're going to church. Where's your good sweatpants? Put the good sweatpants on. It's amazing. It's amazing. Where's my formal pajama top? Where's my formal pajama top? Is it in the laundry? It's just a whole nother thing. It's just a whole nother. We're becoming so relaxed and so everything's casual. And we're having a party and it's casual. Nobody does formal. Wasn't it fun to be formal? It was fun to get dressed up. You didn't have many clothes that were that nice, but when you had a formal affair or a party to go to, that was fun. It's like playing dress up for big, real people. But no more, man. No more. No, we just, now it's business casual. That's about as far as we go. It's business casual. My father and my grandfather, especially my grandfather, whenever he went out of the house, he wore a hat. Now, I love that. When a guy puts a hat on, but this was from another century. Well, that's not, 2000 was the turn of the century. Guys used to wear hats, and they looked good. Ladies, did they look good or not? Yes, they did, right? Yes, they did. And ladies wore hats too. But men in hats, there was a feeling, man. There was a feeling you could tell when they put that hat on and they went outside. They were men. They shoulders went back. The shoulders went back. They stood up tall. It's nice. Nice. People dressed really well back then. When they went out in public, that meant something. That meant something. Now, no. My mother would never leave the house when I was growing up unless she had her makeup on and something that looked really, really nice. She would never just go to the store. Oh, no. She had to dress up before she went to the store. And that was an entire generation of ladies and men, too. They dressed up for things. No more. Now we're all way too casual. Even to the point where it is now fashionable, and I've talked about that here before and on my show, because I just can't wrap my head around this. It's fashionable to wear jeans that are ripped at the knee. And not just a little gap, they're ripped with the threading from the pant leg drooping down from the knee area. It looks like you were in a horror movie and the buzzsaw almost got your leg completely sawed off. It's disgusting. But is it sexy? I guess a bit, in a weird way. But it's odd. It's odd. They're called distressed jeans, but they're new. They make them that way. They sell them ripped. I remember the day where if you took jeans home and they were ripped, you either threw them out or you returned them to the store. Hey, these are ripped. I spent $70 for a pair of jeans and they're ripped at the knee. That's the fashion. What? I just kind of don't get it. I guess you have to have been born at a certain juncture in life in order to feel comfortable with that. I don't. As bad as I may dress sometimes, I don't go out with my clothes ripped. Doesn't mean that I don't have a couple of pair of ripped underpants. That's by mistake, and I don't really wear them, but I feel close to them. They're nostalgic. Men are wearing ripped underpants all the time. You just don't know it. But it's not a fashion statement, believe me. It's not a fashion statement. Oh, you got a hole in your socks. Throw your socks out. They got holes in them. No, that's the fashion. I did that on purpose. They are now in style to have holes with your toes sticking out. I understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. That's the way it is. And I don't care what generation you are. When you reach a certain age, you won't understand the previous generation at all. And if you go back 2 generations, go up 2 generations, you really won't understand them. And you'll never fit in. Don't even try. Don't even try. A 60-year-old person walking around high-fiving everybody is not... Who did that? What is with the high-five thing? I never was comfortable. I've never high-fived anybody in my life unless they came at me. When you see somebody coming at you with their palm out like this, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what to do. Are you going to slap me? What? Okay. Oh, I see what you want. The high five. Do you want the low five or just like the medium range five? You want the high? You want the high five? I'm taller than you. You're gonna end up slapping me in the face by mistake. I never got the high five. The fist bump. That's okay. I don't mind that too much. But the slapping somebody's hand like really loud in excitement, that's still slapping. I'm not into that, man. I ain't into stuff. But it's a generational thing. So at some point in your life as well, when you get older, you will also have this generational wonderment. Like, I don't understand that. I can't. I wouldn't do that. I don't understand. You know, everybody in their life, when they start having children, they start understanding what their parents were talking about. And they actually say out loud to whoever is there, oh my God, I sound like my parents, as if that is the most horrible thing in the world. I might as well just kill myself now. I sound just like my parents. Oh my God, that's horrible. No, it's not. You're just realizing that you're in the same situation in stage of life experience as they were, and you couldn't understand why they were acting like that when you were younger. Now you understand because you were having the life experience in which time they were acting like that. So for you to say, hey, I sound like my parents, great, congratulations, that's wonderful. You've matured. You're having a life experience just like your parents did when you were involved. It's not a horrible thing. It's just a thing. And it's the first indication that this generational stuff is going to start affecting you. And it's going to bother you. And you're not going to understand why people are walking around with ripped jeans at the knee. It makes no sense. It never will. It just is. I'm out of time for today. I'll be back next week with another program. You can catch me on the Ron Van Dam Show. Google that at newenglandbroadcasting.com. I wish you peace.